Hello everyone. I Hitesh Baviskar from Parol Polytechnic Institute, Parol University. Welcome you all on today's webinar, How to Make a Career Path of Your Own. Our today's speaker is Mrs. Stuti Changle ma'am. Stuti Changle ma'am is a popular author of much loved books on the open road and You Only Live Once. She is on mission to inspire the youth to pursue their dreams with courage. Her books rose to Amazon bestseller charts in the month of its releases. She made her TV debut in 2019 as a host of the TV series Karke Dikhayenge, where she presents the stories, knowledge, and learning of entrepreneurs and leaders. The entire TV series is broadcasting every week on the Tata Sky and Aircel, Big TV Geo, and other network platforms. She also works as a digital creator by day helping her clients craft a compelling narrative for their websites, blogs, and social media. She is extremely passionate about storytelling and wishes to take her ideas places. Her story has been covered by many newspapers as well, various social media platforms like Your Story, Dainik Bhaskar, Startup Journey, Sharos, and Entrepreneur, Asia Pacific, among the others. On the behalf of Parul University, I welcome Stuti ma'am. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, Hutesh. Thanks for such a lovely introduction. And everyone who's joining in, I'm super glad that you all made time for this webinar. And I hope that in the whole process or in the whole session of this webinar, you get to learn as much as you can. One of the things that I would say right at the beginning is that if you have any question, don't hesitate, just ask, because when we ask questions or we ask questions to people, we get answers to so many things that otherwise we might not have gotten. So just it's a very casual conversation. I'm like your friend, and just feel free to ask any question that you have in the course of the webinar. So the webinar is all about how to make a career path of your own. Now career in itself sounds like a huge word. Career career kya hota hai? I mean, how do we make a career? And a lot of us just don't know that what is this one field that we want to choose, or this you want to go to when we talk about building a career. So I hope that in this webinar, all of you will get answers to such questions, as in, how do I choose a subject? How do I choose a work field so that I don't even have to work a day? Because when you will do what you love, every day will be like a vacation for you. And when you choose a career path where you have most of your interest, or where you can do amazing things, you don't really have to compete with others. Every day you will focus on becoming a better version of you. And I think that should be the goal. That should be the whole goal of life, that I choose a path where I'm already doing a little good. I build my skills in a certain way so that I don't really have to work every day. I'm just becoming better version of me, while developing the craft. And then eventually, I don't have to compete with the world. I am just becoming a better version of me every day. So if today I am at X position, tomorrow I'm at Y position. And if I am, somewhere ahead of my previous position, then I'm doing good. So I don't really have to worry about difficult things like success. And I don't really feel jealous of any colleagues or anyone, because then I know that this is where I was, and from here I am successful. So anyways, I am successful, and that success's definition becomes very much your own definition. Right, Hutesh?
Yes, ma'am. Yes. So, ma'am,
So I think,
yeah.
yeah.
So I have one question, ma'am. How did you realize that you want to become a writer?
Okay, so this is a very good question, that how did I realize that I wanted to become a writer? And I want each one of you to listen to the answer very carefully, because to be honest, very honest, I did not know that I wanted to become a writer. So when I was young, what happens is that people around you, they actually influence a lot of your decisions. So first it's your parents, then it's your teachers, then it's your friends. And we keep on asking other people that, what is it that we should do so that we will be successful? We don't really know that this is something that we want to become. And we don't have that kind of clarity. And same was the case with me. When I was young, I used to write poems. I was interested in English, but I never knew that I wanted to pursue this as a career. A lot of people told me that becoming a writer, but it can't be a career. And the only mistake that I did was I would listen to the people around me. I would think that yes, they are right. ये सही कह रहे हैं. This is something which can be a hobby, but you can never make a career out of it. And especially it happens with creative careers. So if a singer goes ahead and tells people that, singing is something that I want to do, or I want to become a musician, most of the people will say that you have a day job and you become a musician in your part time. You take it up as a hobby. So for any young kid to understand that, hobby can also become a career. Like, it's not that because it's creative, it has to be a hobby. It can become a career. So, for me, that realization came when I had become a little financially independent, when I knew what is the importance of money and how important it is to make money from what you love to do. So I knew that I wanted to become a writer. I actually went for engineering, then I went for MBA, and I was chasing a job. After I'd worked in my job for some time, I realized that, no, this is something that I love to do, but this is not something that gives me a reason to wake up every day. And this doesn't really fill me with that kind of excitement. So I decided that now I will choose writing not as a hobby, but as a career. And that happened only in 2016. And before 2016, I wasn't very sure. And one of the things I want to tell everyone is that it's okay to be unsure. Nobody knows from the beginning that this is something they want to do. But if you have a little interest in something, then don't let that interest die. Don't think that this can only become a hobby. It can't be a career. See, a career path is where you're also making money from what you love to do. Eventually, the whole sole sustenance of you can happen only when you're making money from what you love to do. Otherwise, people will take it as a hobby. So if you can make a plan, if you can work out in a way where you can make a good plan around the hobby or the interest that you have and make a career out of it, then there's nothing better than that. So you should always target at making money out of what you love to do.
Yes, ma'am. Exactly. Hello.
Yes, Utesh.
Yeah. Ma'am, actually, when you are choosing your career as a writer, so what are the challenges you have faced?
Okay. So Hutesh, for everyone, there are two types of challenges that you have, or there are two kinds of fight that you have to fight. So the first one is with the world. So when I say the world, you will have to convince your teachers, you will have to convince your parents, you will have to convince everyone around you. Since we as Indians live in a very, very social kind of a setup, and everybody is so interested in your life, and everybody wants to know that what is it that you want to do. So the first challenge that anyone would face when they take an offbeat career path is the challenge of, speaking to everyone and convincing everyone, because in a lot of families as well, until and unless you're able to convince your parents, the chances that you'll be able to take a different career path is very, very difficult. And the second kind of fight that anyone is going to fight is with themselves. So a lot of times we know that this is something that we love to do, but there are so many things which are holding us back. And one of the things which holds us back is the fear of failure. What if I might fail? Everyone around me will start judging me. So it's better that I go ahead with everyone else's wish, so that in the end, I don't end up being judged by everyone. And that's the second kind of problem that we face. And that struggle is pretty much internal, it's not the external struggle. So I think anyone who's going to take a career path of their own, two major challenges or two major struggles are going to be: first, the fight with everyone around you, where you have to convince everyone that you can excel at what you're doing. And then the second one is going to be with yourself, where you have to tell yourself that no matter how much the world judges me, or there are chances that I might fail, I will still take that risk because it is something that means so much to me, and I'm doing this for myself. So I think that are the two most basic challenges that everyone faces, that any might who might be listening to this webinar is going to face when they take up the decision. So the solution is that suniye sabki, kariye man ki.
Exactly, ma'am. My next question is, ma'am, your point of view, how do we define success? How do you define
Find
success? Yeah.
Okay, so I believe that for me, success is pretty much internal. So, like I told you, like I told in the beginning of the seminar to everyone, that if you're going to compare things with others, and if you're going to put the marker of your success, vis-a-vis or in competition with the markers of someone else's success, then you will always end up being unsuccessful. You know why? Because control events external to you. If something's happening in someone's life, and if it is bound to happen, it will happen. You cannot stop it. But if your markers of success are for your own self, that if today I was at this position, if I had, let's suppose, 500 numbers of readers, my target is that in 2021, let's say next year, I have to reach at least 15,000 people. And in 2023, I need to reach 25,000 people. And by the end of 2030, I want to be a million copy seller. Now, here, all the markers of success are for my own self, and I can achieve them. And I will always feel successful when I'll be able to achieve those markers, because here, there's no other person that I'm competing, to. Second thing, how I define success, or how one should define success, is that you be the judge of your destiny. You don't put it on someone else that this person me this, and if this will happen, only then I will be successful. No, you have to make that decision for yourself, and you have to decide those markers of success for your own self. Because let's suppose I'm writing a book, it's not necessary that every book is going to be successful. One of the books might fail as well. But if I start finding pleasure in the journey of writing rather than defining how many books got sold, I will always feel successful in a longer run. So again, here I'm telling you that it is again an internal definition, where I'm not worrying about what the outcome is going to be. So ये गीता में भी है ना कि आप कर्म कीजिए, फल की चिंता मत कीजिए. So if you are focusing more and more on your work and finding success on a day-to-day basis from that work, every day I'm successful because I'm writing 500 words, then again the whole chances that someone is going to make you feel unsuccessful, or that you are going to feel unsuccessful, is very, very less.
Okay, that's great, ma'am. Yeah. Another question is, how to zero down on one's dream career
Okay, how to zero down? So this is a very lovely question, and a lot of places where I go and speak, and on my social media handles, everyone asks me this question: that how do you get to know that this is your career option, or this is your dream career option, and you have to go for that? So I'll always tell everyone that spend time on this. This is a kind of answer that you will not get in one day. You need to really spend some years or some months thinking about it, and then only you will get the perfect answer to this question. Now, one of the things that a person has to do is take down a notebook and take down a pen and write the top 3 career options that come to your mind when you see yourself, working. What are the 3 important careers? So I'm assuming that somebody is confused between becoming a doctor and a singer. They have 2 options in their mind. Sometimes they feel that I should become a doctor, I have to serve the society, and I really love how doctors work. And at times the person feels that no, singing is something that I really like to do, and I want to be like Lata Mangeshkar, like I want to make a career in playback singing. Okay, there's no problem in this. All I would say is that take a notebook and write those 2 or 3 top career options that you have. In front of that, write how much percentage you want to become this versus how much percentage someone else wants you to become this. So that could be your teacher, that could be your parents, that could be your family, could be anyone else who keeps you telling. So sometimes what happens is कि बचपन से घर में अगर कोई एक डॉक्टर होता है तो हमें बोला जाता है कि यार अगर पापा डॉक्टर हैं तो बेटी भी डॉक्टर बनेगी, right? And there are these things which happen. So all I would say is that you make a pointer of 100. In 100 points, how much percent you want to become this, and you pick some points on how much percentage someone else wants you to become this. And you do this for all the 2 or 3 options that you have. Trust me, then you will keep looking at this notebook every day. And I would say, if only for 15 days, if you keep on seeing this notebook, you will realize that what is it that you really want to become. And then there are different markers. Like, sometimes we feel that we don't want to take a career action because it's very high. So you also write that. You give a number to everything. You give a number to that. You give a weightage to that. That I feel that if I become a doctor on a 10-point scale, there are 8 chances that I will become, and there is 2 by 10 chances that I will not become or I will fail in this. So all the fear, all the risk that you have in mind, give a number to it. Have a system where you're giving some number to it. Like it could be on a 100-point scale or a 10-point scale. That this much I feel that I can become this, and this many chances I feel that this is the thing. I give number to everything, and you will note it down in your notebook. You will eventually realize that in 15 to 30 days, I would say maximum, you would know that what is the choice that you feel the most about, and what is the choice that you're feeling the most about because of someone else. And then again, I would say that choose the option which is closer to your heart. Choose a cause, choose a purpose which is closer to your heart. So in that case, you will be able to figure out that what is that dream career that you want to make or that you want to build. Right, Hutesh?
हेलो मैम. हेलो मैम.
Yes, Hutesh.
हेलो. Hello. Okay. Ma'am, this is Azhar. My question is, ma'am, to you. जैसे आपने बताया कि आपका हॉबी है राइटर, लेकिन आपका बैकग्राउंड मैम इंजीनियर से आई, जैसे आपने बताया कि आप इंजीनियर और बाद में मैनेजमेंट किया है. तो मैं क्वेश्चन ये पूछना चाहूंगा कि अगर आपका हॉबी राइटिंग का था, राइटर बनने का था, तो आप इंजीनियरिंग लाइन में क्यों गए? या कोई कंस्टेंट था, या पेरेंट्स प्रेशर था, या क्या था मैम? आप ये लाइन क्यों सिलेक्ट किया अगर आपको राइटर बनना था तो?
ओके अजहर, तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वही मैं वापस इस चीज को बोलूंगी, और आई वुड अगेन फोकस on the same thing that for me, right, not a hobby anymore, so it's a career. And this happened really later on in my life, and when I was young I became an engineer. And very rightly said, आपने बिल्कुल सही कहा that everyone around me was becoming an engineer at that time. एक वो हवा दौड़ी थी उस टाइम पे कि हर कोई बोलता था कि यार इंजीनियरिंग कर लो, आईटी में जॉब लग जाएगी और लाइफ सक्सेसफुल हो जाएगी. और वो 2000 से लेके 2010 के बीच में या 2015 के बीच में जितने भी बच्चे ग्रेजुएट हुए सब सीएस लिया, और अगर उन्हें सीएस नहीं भी मिला, उन्होंने मैकेनिकल लिया, इलेक्ट्रिकल लिया, लेकिन फाइनली जॉब सब सीएस में कर रहे हैं. क्योंकि उस टाइम पे अगर आप एक देखेंगे तो आईटी में बूम था, आईटी सेक्टर्स में सबसे ज्यादा जॉब था. सो सिमिलरली गोइंग बाय दैट लॉजिक, मैं अपना रिस्क मिनिमाइज करना चाहती थी. एंड मेरे अंदर वो कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं था उस टाइम पे कि मैं अगर राइटिंग को एज अ करियर परस्यू करती हूँ तो आई विल बी सक्सेसफुल. एंड आई वाज डिपेंडेंट ऑन व्हाट अदर्स were telling me around me. So everyone was becoming an engineer. My parents thought that I can be a successful engineer, and I think that is where, because I was young and I was not confident enough to take a decision, वो में भेड़ चाल बोलते हैं, you call it भेड़ चाल in Hindi, और भेड़ चाल के चक्कर में मैं पहुंच गई इंजीनियरिंग करने. Engineering खत्म होने के बाद I got a job with an IT company, but I knew that this is something that I don't want to do. So I thought that maybe let me try out MBA. Maybe I love something over there. So I was, all this time I was just decision of writing. I was trying to figure out all the ways कि मेरे को ना वो risk ना लेना पड़े, because I knew that the chances of failure are very high. Not everybody becomes a successful author in India. There are only 10-15 people who will make good money and who will be successful. And it's a population of crores and crores and crores. So I wanted to go with a safer option. But in 2016, finally, I realized that there's a deadline to everything. There's a deadline to delaying this decision and be as happy forever. So I then chose contentment and happiness over the rat race of, becoming an engineer or going for a mainstream career option. So I think it took time. It was not overnight. And I tell everyone that sometimes, be it entrepreneurship, be it any other thing, it will take time. You might not realize in one day. And even after realizing, you won't be successful in one day. It's been 3 years now that I've been working consistently. And now I have, reached certain position. But enjoy the journey. If you define the success in the journey, then there's no way that you won't enjoy. You would be happy with every bit of decision that you will make.
Yeah, that's great answer. The another question is that, man, as you have completed MBA, you have completed first engineering, then you have completed MBA. Then the question is related to this. If you want to select between skill and degree, what is the more important? What is the main, skill or degree?
Okay, Hutesh. So I'll tell you what's my point of view on this. So there was a time that everybody was running after degree. We were hunting for a degree that could get us a job. What happened is that in the last 8 to 10 years, so many colleges, so many institutions have come up who are providing students with degree, that I think degree is no more the only thing that can help you set yourself apart. So while degree is very important, nobody will give you a job without a formal degree, and you need to have a degree. So I'm not saying that degree is not important or degree has lost its relevance. The more important thing in today's, scenario, cutthroat competition is there. So many people are graduating with the same degree every year. Now, what can set one student apart from other is the skill set that they have or the skills that they have built. So let's assume that I'm an engineer and I have a degree. So what? Lakhs of engineers have degree today. Now, what is that one thing that can set one student apart from the other? If I go ahead and learn some extra languages, if I go ahead and learn, working on some new technologies that have come up and which a lot of companies are also looking for, I think in that case, I'm also building a parallel skill set. So obviously, when you go for lateral hirings, which is, being hired after certain years of experience, skills become of paramount importance. Then nobody cares a lot about your degree. With the first job, yes, marks are important. Yes, degree is important. But if there's a pool of students and there are so many of them, the only chance to stand out or the only way to create an impression is to have an amazing skill set around what you're saying that you know. So, rightly, as I have quoted from the example of an engineer, if you have computer science as your degree, then have you also learned working on some extra technologies? Have you also built some extracurricular skills? Communication skill, the most underrated thing I feel is communication skill. A lot of us have amazing degrees, amazing backgrounds, but when it comes to communicating, we fail. And in today's world, one of the most important skills that someone can have, or that can set one person apart from other, apart from the fact that both have the same degree, is their skill and communication skill. Everybody wants a good communicator in their company, because eventually all the business transactions are happening in between individuals. And just by having good command on language, you can create an impression, you can sell a product, you know, you can sell a technology to your client, you can do so many things. So I think skills are very, very important. And in the future, skills is the future. Future is going to be about skills. It's not just going to be about the degree. So don't be that lazy person who's just looking for a degree, who's just looking for clearing exams. That's only one part of the entire process. Focus on building skills, because skills is going to be the future, no doubt. Yes,
Uh,
Utesh.
yeah. You are having a long journey. Like you're from studying to the as you have published 2 books. Okay, so you are having a long journey. Is there any mentor who supports you? So the question belongs to the question is related to this. What is the how it is important to having a mentor as you are entrepreneur now? If you
Okay, yeah, Hutesh, that's a very, very good question. So I think that having a mentor is very, very important. And I think most of the people who build successful careers are able to do that because they've had a mentor all through. So let's suppose that I want to be a writer, but I don't know anyone who writes books and I have no mentor around me. So to become a writer, I everything on my own, because there's nobody who's like a guiding angel, or who's, supporting me, or who's helping me in the journey. Vis-a-vis, what if I have a mentor? When I was very young, let's suppose a 3 or a 4 year old kid meets a writer and makes that writer his or her mentor. Now the writer can handhold the kid all through the journey. And the way I actually wasted some of my time going for degrees that do not matter much to me right now, if I would have had a mentor, then I would have so clearly known that this is the path that I have to take, these are the steps that you need to take, this is how a book is written, this is how a book is published, this is how the thing happens. So I think, irrespective of what field you are in, whether you are a doctor or you're an engineer, which is a mainstream career path, or you're a singer, musician, comedian, anyone, that is an offbeat career path, having a mentor will always, always help you, because there's someone who can set those goals for you, that at the age of 16 you have to do this to become that, at the age of 19 you have to do this to be here at 21, at 21 you have to do this to be at some position at 25 age. So that whole path can be laid out very well if you have a mentor by your side. And to be honest, I never had a mentor, and that's why it took me so long to realize that this is how the whole writing thing operates and works. And had I known someone who was a writer when I was younger, I would have achieved all that I've achieved at this age at least 5 years back. So I always tell everyone that look for a mentor, whatever interest you want to follow, whatever career path you want to make. Find someone who has already made it big in that path, convince them to become your mentor, and ask them to set those goals or KRS for you and achieve them. So now you're not alone. And वो हिंदी में it is rightly said ना कि एक और एक हमेशा 11 होते हैं, कभी भी दो नहीं होते. So you will be achieving all the goals a lot more sooner.
The another question is that, ma'am, nowadays there is a trend going on, like entrepreneurship. Everyone should be entrepreneur. Everyone should be entrepreneur. Okay, but the question is that is the really entrepreneurship is a good option, or it is a corporate stable job is a good option?
So a lot of people have this doubt that, is entrepreneurship the only option? Because somehow entrepreneurship is sounding so cool these days, right? And it's so much in the youth, it's so much in the pop culture, that everyone thinks that, I want to become an entrepreneur, and this is the way. This I have a very different point of view here. There's nothing right or wrong. It completely depends on an individual as to what their personal goals are, and do those personal goals align with their broader, or much broader goals, which is your career. So you can make a stable career in corporate. There's nothing wrong about it. And you can choose to become an entrepreneur. Again, there's nothing wrong about it. Both are equally rewarding, equally good options. What one has to figure out is that personally, personal level, what are your personal goals? What do you want to achieve in life? And which among these two options will help you achieve that goal? So I'll make it very simple with my personal example. My goal is to tell stories that inspire people. That's all. One liner, very clear, very precise. And I know that's the purpose of my life. I want to tell stories to inspire. And I want to tell stories that move people. And that is what currently I'm doing with both the books. So, On the Open Road was a story about You Only Live Once, is again a story about two artists. One is a singer, the other one is a stand up comedian. And through these stories, I'm creating an impact in people. I'm moving them, I'm inspiring them. And that's my goal. So, here, I have to become an entrepreneur. I don't have an option of going in a corporate stable career. And I don't think that that will align with my personal goal. How can I do that? Maybe I can do it there as well by delivering good presentations. But for me, delivering good presentations is not the way. I want to build skills. So, with my personal goal, becoming an entrepreneur or a solopreneur working on my own is something which makes a lot more sense, right? So, for me, entrepreneurship is a better option. Let's suppose somebody has a very different goal. They want to serve the people. Their goal in life is to help others, serve them, save them from diseases. Now, becoming a medical practitioner makes a lot more sense than becoming a writer, right? And now it again is an individual goal, that whether I want to do this working in an organization, which will be hospital in that case, or I want to do my own practice, a solopreneur, work on my own, work on my own terms. So there's nothing is right or wrong, Hutesh. In fact, everyone who's listening to me on this webinar, it's an amazing question, and both are equally rewarding, equally good options. What you need to figure out is what are your personal goals and how those personal goals align with these broader goals, which is your career option. So once you're clear on your personal goal or your purpose of life, then these options and to select or to choose from them becomes very, very easy.
Yeah. Ma'am, you have published two books that is are the bestseller in the Amazon. Okay. The one is On the Open Road, another one is You Only Live Once. Can you just give idea about what we have On the Open Road and You Only Live Once book?
Okay, yeah. So I have written two books, and as you rightly said, one of them is On the Open Road, and the other one is You Only Live Once, with a question mark. Both the stories are stories that I've written from a goal to inspire the millennials or to inspire the youth to follow their dream and do what they want to do, achieve, do big in their lives. And while both are very similar at its core, like they are intended to inspire you, on a broader level they are a little different. So I'll start with the first one. On the Open Road is a story of Myra, Kabir, and Sandy, who are three individuals who come from different walks of life and they want to start up a company. So it's pretty much a story which tells you that, in life, to be able to do something new, sometimes you have to break free from the old, and that is going to be a long, long journey. Once you have broken free from the old or your routine, only then can you achieve something, new in life. And that's how these three individuals discover each other, discover their goal, and they finally start up a company together. The second novel, which is You Only Live Once, is a little different. It's a story of two artists, Arav and Alara, and how they find their inner calling and how they finally become stronger and pursue their goal. And if I had to just put it up in one line, the story asks you a question, which is a very basic question, that can your biggest weakness be turned into your greatest strength? And while you read the book, you get an answer to that. And I think that's the most beautiful part of the book, that it speaks about the fact that vulnerability can be your strength, and it necessarily doesn't have to be your weakness. So yeah, these are pretty much millennial stories, pretty much youth doing stuff. So I think anyone who's in college and who feels the whole story would love to read it, and you can take a lot back as well when it comes to deriving value from the book.
That's great, ma'am. Ma'am, I have another question. What is the future of making a career a path of oneself?
Okay, so that's a very very good question. That what's the future when it comes to making a career path of your own. So a lot of you would have seen that post this whole COVID-19 situation, so many people are working from homes, right? And so many companies have also given them the permission of to be working from home, and there's no a strict, I would say, guideline in place when it comes to going to office every day and working. So similarly, this is something which a lot of startups, a lot of co-working spaces, they had cracked it a lot before COVID-19 happened. That in the future, the workstations are going to be mobile. They are not going to be one place. The whole way our parents have looked at workplaces. One office, set up time zones, set up timelines, that this is the time I'm going to work, this is time I'm going to go back. It's all going to be mobile. And when I see this future, or when I say about this, I really feel that in the future, a lot of people are going to come up as solopreneurs or as entrepreneurs, just because the kind of flexibility or the kind of comfort it gives you in terms of working, in terms of work hours. And a lot more youth now want to take that risk. That whole factor, that whole socio-cultural scenario has changed, where people were averse to risk taking. A lot of new people, they really want to explore, they really want to try out, and they really want to take risks. So one of the thing is this parameter, and the other thing is that how the whole world is going mobile, or the whole workforce is going mobile in the future, is where I feel that in the future you will see a lot of solopreneurs, a lot of entrepreneurs coming. In fact, there are so many digital freelancers right now who are not stationed at one place. They keep moving from one place to another. And office is no more that typical one building office as it used to be. You have a laptop, or you have a tab with you, and you can work from anywhere. So I think the future is going to be that. And if there is any time to make offbeat career path, it is right now. So if it was a mainstream career, I don't think there is going to be a huge change, or a huge paradigm or mindset shift. But when it comes to making a career path in an offbeat world, or in an offbeat line, I feel that future is going to be much more rewarding, much more easier, given that you have the flexibility to work from anywhere. So you won't really have to pay the office rent as well. You would be sitting at your home with a laptop, and you could become an entrepreneur. You don't have to pay thousands and thousands of rupees in leasing office spaces, for that matter. So the ease of working from anywhere is going to be so high, and it's going to be so light on your pocket, that you can choose an offbeat career path, and it could be anything. And I think the most hot thing that's going to come up is entrepreneurship, for sure.
Ma'am, there are several questions from my students. The question
Okay.
is, one of my students' name is Khush. His question is, what happens if we fail to establish our work in our own field?
Sorry, can you please repeat the question?
Yeah. What happens if we fail to establish our work in our own field?
Okay, what happens when we fail to establish ourselves in the field that we've chosen? It's a very good
Yeah.
question. And I think that anyone who, including me, who decides to take a career path of their own, they have the fear that what if I fail, what is it that is going to happen. See, I think in that case, having a little bit of clarity on what could be your alternate career plan can help you. So a lot of people ask me, like we also discussed about it in this particular session as well, that do you regret that you are an engineer and then you went for MBA and after that you became a writer? To be honest, the answer is that I don't regret. And the reason is this question, that I always knew that even if everything around me failed, if none of my books sold or I could never become a successful writer. And since we all know that money is very important, like if you're not able to make money from what you're doing, then you need to stop at some point. It can't be a career, then it can only be a hobby. The discussion from where we started. So I always knew that I could go back and take a job. And since I'm an MBA and I also have a background in engineering, for me to get into any role which is related to marketing or branding or sales is very easy. I know that I have amazing communication skills, and then I have degrees to back all the claims that I make, and so I'll be able to get a job. So for me, getting a job was never a problem, given the kind of academic record that I had. So I think in that case, I would tell you that if you're a little bit skeptical about the fact that you might fail in this, journey, or you might fail in choosing a path and you will not be true to yourself, in that case, actually going for a degree, a formal degree in any stable career option is not a bad idea. Because then when you will never be regretful about the choices that you've made. You can always go back and take a job. So you always have a plan B with you.
Yeah, student might be happy with this answer. Ma'am, another question is from Vishmit Varia. What do you think about self-confidence and how we can build it?
That's a very, very good question. I would say that's the best question asked, till now. And it's a very good question. A lot of us do not give a very good weightage or, very good importance to self-confidence in life. And when you ask this question, that how to boost one's self-confidence, I am so happy that someone came up with this, because maximum people they have all the skill set, they have all degrees. The only problem that we have is that we are not confident. We're not confident in pitching our ideas, we're not confident in conveying our ideas, and somehow we feel that we are always being judged. And if the question is not good enough, everybody is going to laugh. And that's the reason I never ask questions. Trust me when I'm telling you this. And that was lack of self-confidence, where I never asked questions, I never spoke up, I never went to stage and gave presentations. And this was me until school. When I came to college, I finally realized that ऐसा कि यार ये अपने से नहीं होता, या ये अपने बस की बात नहीं है. Let's try. And then I consciously started taking part in competitions. Whenever I used to get an opportunity to present in front of the class, I used to go. People laughed at me. A lot of times I made a fool of myself. Now you might feel that I'm lying, because when I tell a lot of people feel you're very confident, you speak on the stage in front of 400, 500 people. How can you have a problem with self-confidence? The truth is that when we go to stage, everybody feels that anxiety. Everybody feels that fear. Now, the only thing is, you decide to do with that fear. So you will have to accept that when you go to the stage, you will feel the fear. Everyone feels it. The only difference is that some people are able to hide behind this smile and they're able to show everyone that they are confident, while other people stutter, or they feel, now their confidence has gone down the drain, so they cannot speak a single word. If you are personally struggling with self-confidence, there's this exercise that I do every time before I go to stage, or before I appear for any interview, before I go for any presentation. To a washroom near to you, or go to any place where there's a mirror. Okay, go to the mirror, look into the mirror. and tell yourself with all the confidence that you are a very good person, you're a very confident person, your ideas are amazing, and everybody is going to love them. I know it might sound a little weird that, how can speaking in front of the mirror actually increase your confidence, or how can it boost your confidence? But this little exercise, it works wonders. Whenever I go for an interview or I have to go to stage, all I do is I go in front of the mirror. Either I tell it out loud, or there are people around me, then I just look into the mirror, eye to eye, my own self, and I say that in the back of that I'm going to rock this. This is going to be amazing. I'm a very confident person, and this whole session or whole thing is going to go very well. And that's all thing that I do actually raises my confidence. So have faith in yourself, raise your own confidence, and don't think about what others are going to think. Even if you will give the best of the best presentation, there would be one person in the room who will not like it. And that is how the world works. You can't please everyone. So it's fine. If one person judges you, 2% judges you, it's okay. Doesn't change you as a person. Or that shouldn't play with your personal confidence. Think of it in that manner that nobody is important. I know everything. I'll be able to do this. And you look into the mirror, tell yourself these words that you are confident, you are amazing, and this is going to rock. And then trust me, you will never struggle with self-confidence. You will eventually become more and more confident with every new presentation or every new time that you will go to the stage.
I think, ma'am, the students will really happy to such answer. They will really motivated for this answer. I think so. The last question from one student is, how can we get rid of confusion about what we like and what we do?
That how to get rid of the confusion and
What we like, what we do.
What we like and what we do. How
Yeah.
to? Can you please repeat? I think I got the question wrong.
The question is, how can we get rid of the confusion about what we like and what we do?
Okay. So I think the best way to get rid of this confusion is by doing what you like. Always do what you like. Because when you will do what you like, only then you will get amazing results. Every time you will do something that you don't like, the chances of you succeeding are very less. So the only way to get clear of confusion is doing what I in your 100% what you are doing. And I know that at times it is confusing. It is confusing. You feel that, this is something that I want to do, but then there are end pressures where I'm not able to do a particular thing. But I would still find out reason, or you can find out that one way as to why you want to do. Everything else becomes irrelevant. So always do what you like to do. Never do something that you like to do. If someone else is forcing you, then find out reasons to convince that person. Be it your parents, be it your teacher, convincing this thing. Matter. And then with doing what you will be more clear and person in कि मुझे लगा ही
Ma'am, your voice is not clear. Stuti, ma'am, your voice is not clear.
The voice is not okay. There might be some net issue. Is it still unclear?
Yeah.
Yeah. Bhutesh,
Yeah,
am I
you
audible?
can continue. Yeah, you can continue.
Okay. So concept is saying, or part that I was in the end was that know what you want to do and find reasons to do that thing. Don't do anything else, because your confidence in your own self will only increase when you're able to execute on what you would do. And when you keep such this day, every day, every you as a more clear and confident about what you want from life. And then you won't face the whole issue or the whole challenge of confusion, as you're saying that, every time you want to do something, but then there's something else that you're doing. No, always do what you like to do. If you have to convince someone else, then find reasons, find ways to convince the other person that why you feel that this is more important and this needs to be done. And have a path of your own, have the choice of your own, have the decision of your own, make that execution, and that will eventually make you a more clear and confident person in life.
Ma'am, currently, I'm asking one question personally, that currently you are working on some book, your upcoming books, or
Yes,
something else?
I'm working on my third book. So I plan to finish it this month, and let's hope that it comes soon, because so many readers of the first, the second book are dying to read the third one. So as of now, I'm working on the new book. I hope I'm able to finish it this month.
Yeah, that's great. Best of luck for ma'am your third book. It's great to
Thank you
talk with.
so much.
We are really thank you for having you such for your such motivational session on the behalf of Parul University. Uh, thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you, Hutesh. Thank you for such a lovely session, and I also enjoyed. I hope the students or everyone who watched it on live, they were able to get some value from the whole conversation. Before signing off, there's only one thing that I want to tell, that I'm very active on my social media handles, including my LinkedIn and Instagram. So if there's any question any student feels that they want to ask in person that they couldn't in the session, feel free to reach out. I would love to talk to you. I'm as Tuti Changle on LinkedIn, so you can reach out to me and we can have a candid conversation there.
Yeah, actually, ma'am, they have checked my profile, and also I think they will contact you. I think today evening or tomorrow morning. I think so. Everyone on Instagram and also
Yes,
LinkedIn,
not
they
a
have
problem.
checked. I think. Yeah,
Yes, so you guys can reach out to me.
yeah. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you. So Hutesh, can I sign off from the session now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, you can.
Okay, okay. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye, bye, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes,
Jiten sir.
thank you very much.
Jiten.
I'm okay, close it.
Sir.
I'm okay, close it.